Have my glasses on.
My
Good
glasses.
shirt.
Okay, good.
Do I look smarter?
Alright. Welcome guys to the post league time pre-show. We are we have reevaluated. We decided the couch format isn't good enough to contain the show. Instead we decided to reorient ourselves. We have reevaluated. We decided the couch format isn't good enough to contain the show. Instead we decided to reorient ourselves. We have
cares?
Okay. So the real reason, welcome to post league time pre-show is welcome guys.
Oh, you didn't turn off the stream, dumbass.
Oh my God. Sorry. The real reason why we're having this is Mark's brother, or yeah, is it his brother? His brother's getting ordained, and so he can't make it this week, and so we got Budget Mark here with us today. Glad of you to join us, man.
I don't think I've ever done like on stream like analysis forever and any LCS game, any game ever.
Okay, but I'm Scarra. Everyone knows who I am. Why don't you introduce yourself? You've been gone from this show for about a couple weeks now.
Oh yeah, huh? I actually haven't been here for a bit. Well, the pre-show master turned into the show master, based aka extraordinary streamer. I don't know.
All right, so people are gonna ask, what are Eunice's credentials beyond the show? Well, his credentials is that he's friends with Mark, but his other credentials are he used to be but he used to work with CLG a lot, so he understands the game pretty well. I don't think a lot of people understand that, like, he's actually.
I ended last season ranked 56 in NA. 56. That's higher than you.
He lucked out getting there.
That's literally higher than you.
He literally played Jhin the entire time.
I'm literally I ended higher ranked than you
last
season,
I've ever seen.
And I was a sub for COG for a year. It's like, I know I look retarded, but I'm not.
All right. Anyways, he's actually pretty smart about the game, and hopefully today we can show that off, or we can show that he has no idea what he's talking about. Either or. Anyways, welcome to pre-show. We do this pre-show while we wait for people to come into the show. Usually the pre-show is us waiting for MarkZ, but today the pre-show is going to be you guys just chilling with us.
Yeah, chilling before we get into the hard-reaching.
Yeah, the hard-hitting analysis, aka it's just going to be me talking about.
I need to correct myself. It wasn't 56. It was 66. But still, it was still higher than you.
I'm not even going to deny it. I can't deny it.
You can't deny
All I'm going to say is, where's the proof? Do you have a Challenger jacket?
No one has a Challenger jacket.
You can't say you got it then.
When are those coming, actually?
We should talk about that. So, usually pre-show, cover with random stuff. This is one of the things. When are we getting Challenger jackets?
I don't know. It's just like, there was never an official date. They were just like, summertime, we got you guys. I know it's like the best time for jackets.
Isn't it close? Like, we're May 20th right now, man. We're hitting June, July pretty soon.
Best time for jackets, summertime, Los Angeles. Yeah, it's going to be great to wear those jackets. But still nothing. I mean, there's not even like a, don't worry, guys, they're coming. Just be patient. It's just like gone.
Well, hopefully Riot decides to give us the jacket sometime soon. Or else they may have just had like the best like PR stunt I've ever seen. Like
maybe they just pull some shit where they're just like, okay, the jackets aren't coming, but we'll give you a mystery skin.
Oh, I would be
pissed. I would actually be so mad. I'll open the mystery skin and it's just like, what's the shittiest skin? Like, Leprechaun Vagar. It's like, okay, thanks.
Dude, I actually like that skin.
That was a bad example.
Come on.
Bad example, but you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, we should talk about the 10 bands coming into ranked.
10 bands.
Did you see how they're doing it?
No.
Okay, so I gotta explain this on BTR. This is like our first topic of BTR next week, just as a heads up. But I'll give you my immediate thoughts about it before I sink a week of thoughts into it. They're doing blind pick bans, so your whole team bans at the same time as their whole team, and so you can have up to 10 bans. But if they're duplicate bans on both sides, you don't get another ban. So you can have between 5 to 10 bans.
Oh.
So like let's say obviously like no one wants to play against like Caston or Ivern right now.
That's kind of cool. I like that.
There's a good chance that like both sides just ban Ivern, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we have 9 bans instead of 10.
That's kind of cool. I like that actually.
I actually don't mind it, but I understand why they're doing it. They're doing it because you want to save time in the draft. Like honestly, draft takes a long time.
I was complaining about that actually last time I was playing. I was just like, oh my god, draft takes so long. Like you just sit there, and then you sit there, and it's 30 seconds to pick, and you go through everyone, and then there's 1 second left and you're about to go in game and someone's like, you know what? I don't want to play this one. And then you just
dodge.
Q dodge and you just go through it again and you're just like, God.
No, like, I would hate for it to be like pro play because that's so much time investment. And who drafts for pro play? Like, it's not when I play and drafts.
That too. I literally made the same comment. It's literally like, I feel like everyone, like, you should get reduced time because no one is actually spending that 30 seconds thinking about like a good pick. They're not like, they picked Galleon or Orianna. Maybe I should choose a champion that's more like flexible that works around their like CC. Yeah. It's more like,
and then I'm on the team and I auto lock Cat. And it's like, why did you pick that champ? I kind of felt like playing.
There's shit like that, and then it's like, it's the people who are just on Reddit and they're just like, I really like browsing our food. This is like pretty nice. Everything. Oh fuck! I have 5 seconds to pick left.
There's so many situations with how long the current thing happens where I like panic ban something, or it's just like you pick something and you just don't pay it. Like you pick and you'll tab out because what's the point if your first pick and you have to go through 9 more picks after you? There's no way you're staying around for the whole pick stream. I will tab back out and tab back in occasionally to be like, okay, what am I playing against? What's the team kind of look like? But for the most part, I don't do that.
No one does that. No one. There's never anyone been in the chat who's honestly been like, we gotta really counter pick or work around their comp. It's just like, fuck it. Pick me, Timo, please.
All right. There's something you want to talk about? Do you want to bring it up?
I'm gonna talk about it.
Oh God.
We have to talk about it.
No, we don't.
We have to talk about it.
It's not me if he brings it up. It's just mine.
We have to. That's mine. But you can drink it. I don't really care. We have to.
You spiked this. All right, keep going.
We have to talk about our boy ᵐᵉᵐᵉ. Now this is what I can really get into because I think it's bullshit that he's getting so much shit for it, dude. It's literally like, I didn't know that it feels like people just fucking hate this guy. Why do people hate ᵐᵉᵐᵉ?
I actually
it's like this fake ass 15-year-old thing with like raw score sprouted into this huge shit, and then it's like now that this shit happens, that shit resurfaces, and it's just like no one knows what age this girl is, but it's like he's getting bombarded with so much shit he actually has to like drop out of MSI so he doesn't like just get shit on by everyone. It's so weird. I'm like, what has ᵐᵉᵐᵉ done?
My real thoughts on the matter are like, this is the dangers of being like a popular figure.
It is
like 100%. Like, there's actually been a lot of situations where it's like, before I even start, like I'm at the very beginning points of a relationship, right? I'm interested in a girl, and I think to myself like, where is there like a danger in talking? Like maybe like there's always a thing in the back of your head that's like maybe they can. You have to be really really careful with like what you put out there, you know? Like honestly, especially if you're popular, it's like something that should be second nature to you.
If someone like, if Scarra's flirting with some honeys on Snapchat, dude,
I don't want that shit
to go
wrong?
Out.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that wrong of him? Scarra, dudes.
I'm gonna say maybe mine come out sometime and it's just gonna be like, oh my god.
Oh my god, so small. But
what
yeah, it's just like that. I mean, it's like that's like it's like human nature for someone to do this shit, and for him to get like shit on because of this is complete bullshit. Fuck that. Fuck that. I'm Team ᵐᵉᵐᵉ, dude. Fuck you guys. Leave my boy alone.
Yeah, I'm also on the point where it's like I feel really bad for ᵐᵉᵐᵉ. Like I could definitely see a situation like this happening to anyone else I know in the scene, and it's just super unlucky that ᵐᵉᵐᵉ got it twice. You know, like first time random happened. You know, second time this stuff happens. If it was like, it would be just as bad if it was anyone else you knew. Like for instance, if like this was like a thing that happened with Bjergsen or a thing that happened with Double Lift or something like that, this would be huge news as well.
Yeah,
and so it just sucks because I think that like, I don't know, people who leak private conversations pretty much scum, honestly.
That's something that I feel like it's like slowly deteriorating, like as in like saying as a bad thing, but like if you leak pictures, if you leak conversations, if you leak shit, you are a piece of shit. Of course there are gonna be some scenarios where it's like, okay, maybe you have to leak something, but it's like something like that where it's a very obvious private conversation where it's like, oh yeah, that's another thing I didn't go off to. It's like ᵐᵉᵐᵉ didn't randomly send this to this girl. It was like they were talking, she led him on to do this stuff. It wasn't like ᵐᵉᵐᵉ was just like, damn, I should really send this picture of my dick to some random girl.
Holy moly!
I don't think he did that.
Yeah, honestly, I don't really want to talk about this topic too much. This is what he wanted to bring on, but my general thoughts are, it sucks.
All right, we're done with this.
Yeah, it actually
regardless,
sucks. Anyways,
we're good. We're good with this.
Let's get into the meat of the matter, dude. You guys are here to watch me and Budget Mark talk about analysis for League of Legends content. So today we're gonna do our episode of post league time. Which I used to always say was our LCS analysis show. Now I have to say is our professional competitive League of Legends game analysis show.
What are you saying?
Something like that. Anyways, today we're going to be talking about the games that happened today. G2 versus World Elite. Before we get started, do you want to reintroduce yourself?
No.
God, okay, this is Base Yuna. He is my friend, my roommate. He used to be the sub for CLG. He is uniquely qualified to be here with me and cover this content with me. I am everything you'd want in an analyst. Not only good looking, fashionable, but also I've done the LCS desk, I've been a coach, I've been a player, I stream a lot. I've even played HOTS. That has no meaning to this conversation, but I've done it all. Like, I'm literally just Miracle Man right here. Anyways, let's get started, dude. Let's talk about G2 versus...
Oh yeah, I remember this. Well, what do you want to say about this?
Let's talk originally about just your thoughts about the game. The first, like, when you're coming in, when you're coming into this series, I know you didn't watch the.
I don't watch. Okay, like, I feel like this is like a special part that, like, it seems very important. Is that I didn't watch like any of the prior MSI, so I just like this is my first game that I'm truly like watching it. So it was like weird for everyone to be like, yeah, G2 sucks dick, and Trick especially, because it was like, I was like, damn, Trick is on fire. This guy's playing great.
Yeah, my thoughts are exactly the same. Like, the biggest X factor for me is like, how is Trick gonna do? Because like, I thought Scarra ints pretty hard, but Trick just like brought it to another level last week. And this week, I was hoping that like maybe he'd go like even, like maybe it would just be like okay, and Perks can just like hard carry with Sven. But instead, I got like super Trick, like EU Trick. Trick thought he took a week
back home.
Yeah, he took a week to like visualize where are they right now? Brazil. Yeah, visualize Brazil as Europe, and then all of a sudden he just slammed this round.
Yeah. So you want to go like in depth into the
yeah. Let's just talk
about draft first. I feel like this is like a super important thing that was just like confusing because I think well obviously like, a huge thing in this draft was like the Lucian pick in my opinion. It was like it just felt random to me. It was like, all right, what are they gonna pick for mid here? Oh, they're gonna blind a Lucian. So it was just like, it was really weird to see too, because I liked it before. It was like they picked Miles, they banned Kench to like get rid of that counter, and then they picked Kate, which is great. Like obviously that synergy works great with Ivern, and then they blind Lucian. It was just like, I guess we're blinding Lucian, guys.
I think the idea was that Xie was like, I beat Faker with Lucian. If I could beat Faker, what's a mere mortal Perks gonna do to me? And it's like, wait, the way you beat Faker was like you got 2 double buffs to like 4 minutes. Super unlucky for the other player. Before we go into this game, let me just overview the whole series for you guys. So this is a 3-1 series that G2 ended up winning, counter to my initial impressions about the best of 5, which I thought the other team would win. The first game ended up happening being. It was a really scrappy game. I think this was 38 kills.
I think this is the longest and most.
It was like
intricate game.
When you see like my notes, it's just like all the skirmishes they possibly can get into within the 40 minute period. This is definitely like this is the bloodiest game of the series, and G2 was able to eventually clutch it out at the very end. But back to the draft, I thought the Taric was really interesting. Like I don't necessarily. I
didn't like it at first.
Yeah, I hated it at first. I saw the Taric. I'm just like. Wait, your comp is Ashe, Rumble, Taric, but you have nothing that really dives. Like, what jungler are you possibly gonna pick here against Ivern that would work well into like Ivern, Caitlyn, and then they pick Olaf. I'm just like,
yeah, I forgot about that pick.
I forgot about that. Yeah, Peanut brought it out the day before, and it's kind of been on my radar, but like really, like no one else has really played it, but it actually works really well in this matchup. And I also thought the mid lane pick Victor into Lucian. Lucian's not a blind pickable champion. Like that mid lane is like, okay, if you Ori's actually a good example of a good matchup into Lucian. Sure, you can win that matchup, but like once Ori gets first blue, she should dumpster Lucian, like straight up. And the only reason this Victor matchup is even worse, and the Cassio matchup would be probably just as bad. Whereas, as soon as the mage gets like 1 back with blue buff, the AD just doesn't have the range or the damage to be able to like outburst it. With the exception of what happened this game, which was essentially that Lucian got 7 buffs or something. Lucian got
Lucian got literally 3
my
buffs
God.
at one point.
Yeah, within a 3-minute window, Lucian got 3 of the available 4 buffs on the map, which is insane. Like, but we'll get into that.
Get into that later. Like, I feel like just off draft, I was definitely more happy with G2. I was like, I like it. They got like great engage. I don't think WE ever had like they don't have the comp to deal with the amount of engage on G2. They have engage from Asher, Rumble ults, Olaf just fucking running at you, and all they had to really deal with it was like what Gragas, because they can like throw over the Olaf and push everyone else back. But other than that, it's like you're not gonna fucking ult the Olaf as Malzahar, or you can't stun him with Ivern. Like he's just gonna run at you. And that was like what I felt like at the end of the day was the biggest problem for that game, was like they could just run at you.
Yeah. Like this comp, for instance, Ivern, Caitlyn, I feel like Olaf doesn't do well into this comp if they had more shields. This is like 1 shield away. Like let's say the Lucian was like an Ori or something. Then the comp is extremely hard to play into, because it's like Olaf dives and it's like, wait a sec, he can't do anything. It doesn't matter. But unfortunately that didn't happen, and so.
But they got Lucian. Yeah,
they got Lucian. So I get it. It works out if they get a lead. And to be honest, one of the things I've been most impressed by, I think World Elite's level 1s have been really good. If you even look back into the stage before, which I know you didn't end up watching any of it, but they had a situation where like I always feel like the level 1s are very calculated, and this is something that is like. Usually when I think about certain teams are very creative early games. COG is a good example of a team that like has really creative level 1s, and other teams are better known for like either like team fighting or skirmishing or like being able to split push. But World Elite has had some really, really interesting level 1s. This is a situation where level 1...
It's kind of weird how it happened too. I just remember like Ivern lost his flash level 1 too. Remember he was walking towards or the whole G2 invaded, and he was sitting in the pixel brush, and then there's a banana bush right after it. He sat in there, and then he lost his flash. But like you were talking about, that's when he was able to go to their red, steal the red, and their bot lane did their own red.
And the thing about this is, anyone who knows Malzahar support should know Malz can cheese buffs so easily. Like
really,
like it got so bad to the point where when Malzahar was really popular, my jungles and solo queue would ask me to only use 1 W, because if you use 2, I had potential to steal it. That's how much damage that Malzahar can do to a single buff. And so they just use Malzahar here, get a buff for free, and then this just turns out perfect. They start 3 buffs, and this just becomes like kind of like a very bad opener for a Trick at the very beginning.
Oh yeah, and they're balling too. Like trying to lane against a Caitlyn is already like, I hate my life. Caitlyn with the red buff, it is really gonna suck. So they already picked up like a small lead bot lane. WE. Which one's call it? Yeah, I don't know. You're right though. Like that level 1 is like pretty smart. I would never think of that like trying to happen to me.
Yeah, I mean, I thought so. Overall, Trick today played phenomenal. Like maybe not phenomenal, but he played very well. Comparative to his week before, Trick played phenomenal. Like this guy, it's like he went from man to machine, man to like immortal. Like, but the way this game opened, you're like, okay, Trick gank mid lane, blue summons, cool, really really good. Set up Victor for success. Went bot lane, fed. And
oh yeah, that was his first gank. His first gank was ganking at 3:15, and it was just Caitlyn was able to get away because Mithy flashed, missed Tark stun, which is that one was hard to watch.
Yeah, legit.
It was like that thing where it goes off and then he flashes, and you're just like,
legit. I don't even know if that's Trick's fault. Like I look at that, and I'm just like,
I don't think that's Trick's fault.
I was like, if Mithy hits that, that's just like a free double flash. I think that's what they get, and they come back for something else. But instead, it turns into like an ugly conversion where
TP comes.
Yeah, where like Caitlyn gets a kill with 20 something CS and backs and gets BF to Cole. And at that point, I'm just like, oh,
fun time.
World Elite just wins. Like it's really, the bot lane can't do anything. They're just getting stomped. They're gonna get stomped. And Trick got set behind the enemy jungler because of this play. With the only positive being that top lane, they got a TP from top lane, and so top lane is a little bit ahead.
But other than that, yeah, it looked really bad. Like, it led into that, like you were saying, that Cole BF sword. I mean, like, the lane is already like pretty bad for them. Like you don't win Kate Malzahar versus Tark and Ashe. Like that lane is already way too hard, and with the red in this, I thought it was really gonna be like WE just gonna like walk over G2, but it didn't really turn out that way.
And this is what me and Yuna like the Trick style. So Trick is he's one of the best lane gankers I've seen. All he does is lane gank.
All these games, like throughout this whole series, the most success was him running into the lane and hiding in the bush.
I don't know if he's river adverse or he just thinks he can convert lane ganks really easily. But this guy legit lane ganks nonstop. It's his natural progression. Most junglers come from the river, and he's just like, I hate water, and just like goes into the bushes. And so like how they convert the bot lane play is like he comes back down there. Caitlyn has no flash, just runs through lane, gets the kill, and he's able to help his team come back. But it's actually like this is a reoccurring thing. You're gonna see this the entire series where Trick is gonna come from a bush on one of the side lanes and start a team fight, get a gank off, get something with it. This is just what he does. And teams are playing against this.
It never felt like like at the last game is when they
had one ward.
You saw wards in the bushes.
They had one ward the game before the last one, and the last game they had like another ward which actually saw him. But for the most part, they were very, very slow to catch on to this.
Yep. Yeah, once that happened, it was just literally like that gank happened, and Ivern is running around stealing his both. Like he literally right after that he takes both buffs. He went red to blue, took both buffs, and Lucian got them as well because of the Ivern passive, obviously. But then the lane gank happens. Olaf kills the Caitlyn. He has no flash, and I think this is like where the game got really good for WE. This is when Lucian chunks mid. Like Lucian is picking up a lead versus Perks because of the buffs. Like that was just something that it didn't feel like
you can't
he was ever out laning.
Yeah,
it felt like Perks was playing better than him the whole game, and then it was just like, well, he got blue, red, blue, so he gets chunked. The bot rotates mid, and they get a free mid tower, and then the game is like, oh, this is looking back to like, all right, WE actually has like a lead, even with the Kate kill, which seemed to really like slow them down. Like this is where it's gonna get going again.
So even though Olaf has this great lane gank bot lane, Connie's response to this lane gank was great. He took both buffs. Mid lane got huge pressure. They got the first tower mid lane, and this is the point where you're like, Willie's got this game.
Yep.
Like they're looking great. Like not only did they have this great like BF opener, they just got 4 buffs and they got mid first tower. But everything swings when they don't take into account expects TP, and they look to force bot lane.
Expects TP?
Wait, was this it?
No, after the they get mid tower, right? And then they have the dragon fight where you are pissed because this is a dragon fight where it's like, okay, well,
never mind.
Like G2 is fucked. Like G2 start the dragon and then WTP and they TP the Gragas behind the AD carry. So the AD carry is like DPSing and you just see the Gragas walk behind them and you're just like, this is where it's like it's all over. Like your life flashes before your eyes. You're about to get killed by the car. Like it's over. But Gragas just fucks up his initiation. He slams in, great, like Ash's CC, but he doesn't ulti. He just refuses to ulti, and the Tark ult comes down, and everyone is saved, and they're trying to do damage with the Tark ult up, and the fight's over. G2 turns it, and it gets, I believe they get
like 3 for 2.
3 for 2, and the dragon. So it was a great swing for G2, but it was just like you looked at it, and you're like, this is your fight. Great TP.
So for people who don't understand, this is a play where I play Gragas. I know when a Gragas player messes up. Usually the thing that you see the most is that Gragas players, when they body slam in, they try to sneak in an auto, and that ruins their combo. Because when you look to sneak in the auto, the opposing player has a chance to flash or use a mobility move to get out. Not only did he sneak in the auto, he autoed him again. And after the AD carry flashed out, the AD carry flashed onto a Caitlyn trap. And the entire period, he still has ulti. He still didn't throw ulti. And then finally, at the very, very end, when Ashe starts running away, he throws an ulti and then pushes Ashe to safety into her side of the jungle. And the entire time I'm watching this, I'm just like, what? I was so mad. This is such an easy pick on the back line, and this would have been a free fight for World Elite.
That was like the backbreaker. It was really like the mid tower's gone. Like it's getting really rough, and it's just so sad seeing like such a good TP go to waste. And then that's pretty much happened. And then this is where the game turns like completely for G2. You remember what happened after this, right? This is where WE forced the bot tower.
Oh yeah, so this is what happened right after this play. World Elite forced the bot tower, and so Gragas just flashed for this miracle flank. Great TP, terrible execution, right? They flubbed the Dragon T fight, okay. But what ends up happening is World Elite then tries to brute force bot tower right after this play and didn't respect the top lane's TP. And what happened is top lane comes out with TP with the mid Victor, and they just clean house here. And this is the big swing for G2 to get back into G2's favor.
Oh yeah, this was like really like disgusting to watch too, because it was like the Rumble came down, the Victor came down. This fight's over within like 2 seconds of it starting.
Honestly, there's a lot of fights this game. I don't want to go break down one by one.
If we break down all these fights.
No, it's going to take us like a year. So the biggest things I have to say after this point are that look at Trick's item build in this
oh, yeah.
series. I was so mad. Okay, so Olaf, for the most part, I understand that he doesn't want to buy Ninja Tab. He's against a 2-threat comp. But you know what? CDR, really, really good on Olaf. It's standard for the Olaf build. I understand. Cool. What does he do right after? He builds a Kendall Gem. Okay, I still like it. Yeah, CDR is really good. He scales well with health. He builds a Null Magic Mantle, and I'm just like, is this going to be a Visage? Do not build a Visage here, please. He builds a Visage, and if you look at how the team fights play out, the next few skirmishes, this entire time, he has a full Visage, and he's trying to dive double AD, and they just burn him alive. And if he had armor during any of the later engages, like for instance, the engage mid lane, he doesn't die as easily, and they easily clean house. Like, super easily clean house on these fights. I thought his itemization was like almost unacceptable.
Super poor. Like it just leads to all these like you're right. Like if you literally just had the armor, if you just had ninja tabs, like fuck the CDR with ninja tab Spirit Visage, he'd probably live another like 5 minutes in every fight. But the fact that he just itemizes so poorly against what I feel like. There's a lot of games where it's like, maybe I do need this MR for like the top lane tank because he does do like amount of damage. This game it's Ivern and Kate and Lucian. It should be fucking simple.
Yeah, and this is also a game where it's like he doesn't need to do damage or even keep them slowed that much. This is a game where as long as his body is there, you know Victor Rumble is just going to delete this game. Like there's no question in my mind. If Victor started 4-0, Victor is going to God mode this game. Speaking about bad itemization, let's look to the other side. Xie's itemization this game, actually just like, holy shit. Look at Xie's itemization against Faker. He respects Faker as a player because he goes, starting with a 7-0 lead, he goes, whatchamacallit, Bork, Cleaver into Maw.
7-0 and he did this?
Yeah, he was 7-0. He's behind Victor in this scenario. And he goes, Bork, Cleaver, PD, IE, and then he starts building its Hex Drinker as the lowest range AD threat in the game against Rumble Victor. He decides that, like, dude, you know what? I gotta have my damage. And if you see some of the team fights, like some of the fights mid lane, some of the other team fights, he cannot move forward. It's actually like terrifying for him to try to team fight this thing. I don't understand where his. I understand third item mob probably was most optimal because he needed the cleaver, but going like. Even after the PD, I'm like, okay, you got the PD now, dude. I understand, dude. You're good. You risked it. You got the reward for the risk. Okay, now you're gonna get Ma, and then it's like, wait,
nope. He gets IE.
So, itemization choices this game were just like almost mind blowing for me. And there's just skirmishes all up and down the thing, and it ends up being like good for this team,
it's a
bad
really
for
like
this team.
Skirmishing like game. It's like they're constantly fighting. It's like every 5 minutes they have a fight around an objective or just like a random
and we can nitpick these fights so much, not only itemization wise, but like Rumble ulti wise, like they missed stuff here. Gragas initiation could be better here, but for the most part, all it comes down to is, for me at least, okay, poor itemization choices for both teams, but G2 was able to convert, and they have just a better comp because Ivern's not frontline. He's like a way to enable your team, and Victor, like, there's no enabling a short range AD threat like Lucian. As the game progresses more and more, Perks just auto wins this game if he gets ahead. And that's what he ended up doing. Even after he flubbed huge fights, like the bot lane tier 2 fight where he literally flashed, missed his laser, ultied a Malzahar, and ran away. Like, stuff like where you're just like, oh my god,
that was pretty bad.
He's like 6-1 and he just did that. Even with that in mind, I had no doubt in my mind they're going to win.
Yeah, I just think at the end of the day, it's just like they had the better comp. Like, it was way too hard for WE to even win this game, and with their poor itemization, I mean, there was literally no hope. It was just, as soon as someone hits someone, like just points at the right direction, the game's over.
And World Elite, the way World Elite's comp wins is similar to all Lucian mid lane comps. They just snowball.
Yeah.
You know? So they're looking to get like massive leads early, maybe look to get picks with Gragas ulti and like be disruptive in team fights, and that's how they close out their lead because they have long range Caitlyn, Ivern to be able to work with the comp. However, they weren't really in a position to get a large enough lead to really cancel that. And even after they got, I think they got like a Baron or two this game, it's impossible to push into Victor because who walks up with against Victor? No one. Literally, Victor can legit flash it and just one hit you at any moment. So it's like incredibly scary to do anything.
K-Traps too, Rumble, like Harpoons and Flame Spitter. You're not going to push into this comp.
Lucian at 5 items still had no MR. He was one hittable by 2 portions of E. If both portions of the E hit Lucian, he would have died. And like I'm pretty sure. Alternatively, both Rumble Harpoons or the entire duration of the Flame Spitter from Rumble would also have killed Lucian. Like, that is how squishy Lucian is in a lot of these comps. And so, it is extremely dangerous for them to play out this game. Anyways, I don't really have much else I want to say about this game. That's pretty much it. No, we're not breaking this down game fight by fight because
you're right.
We're done for it.
That is way too much.
Alright, so first game, Trick played pretty well. Wasn't fantastic, but I thought he played a lot better. You see signs of life from this team. Perks, as usual, plays mid lane really well. Anything else from both teams?
No, that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
what I wrote as well.
I like World Elite's prep. I understand why they would pick Lucian. Maybe G2 can't deal with it well either. But they can. So next game, they're not going to pick Lucian again. Cool. All right, let's go with the next game.
This game was, we described it, this game too. This was a Trick show, right? This is where like Trick literally 1v9s.
Oh yeah. The first I think 20 minutes of this game, this is where you're just like, oh, this is EU Trick. He came back from the grave.
Definitely.
If you thought last game Trick wasn't playing very well, which I thought, poor itemization options, all that stuff, this is the game where I'm just like, he turned it on and he just like hard carried this game. Talking like 80% kill participation, and he gets all the snowballs going for his lanes. Trick just monsters this game.
You still want to go into draft a bit too, right?
Yeah, sure. We can talk about it.
I think this is like another game where I feel like WE is just losing in the draft. Like another game where Trick gets Olaf and he's playing into things he wants to play in. Like he's playing into an Ashe, he's playing into a Lee, which is a favorite matchup for Olaf. He's playing into the Thresh. Like all these champions, he's gonna have a real good time to. He's gonna have easy time dealing with it, and he has like G2 has perfect chance to mix with Olaf. They have a Karma and a Galio. Like you're not gonna kill this Olaf if you don't bring in like a good amount of burst or like more shields. It ends up being like that's exactly what happens. Olaf is just enabled by Karma, enabled by Galio, and he just runs over WE.
Right. The biggest thing for me this game was the fact that they picked Thresh. So Thresh is a really interesting pick. I think Thresh into Syndra is a pick is okay, and actually Thresh into Olaf is an okay pick because yes. The only way Olaf can really kill you is if your summoner is down and he lane ganks you, which, spoiler, that happened this game multiple times. But even after that, going to mid-late game, Thresh Lantern is one of the only ways you can save people from an oncoming like Juggernaut like Olaf. The problem comes when the draft doesn't draft a front line for the Thresh to work with. If you're the sole front line in your team with, I think they had Lee Sin, and they had Rumble, Talia. Okay, you're playing Thresh, and you have to stand up against Syndra. Okay, I'm telling you, I got this straight from the mouth of Kiwi Kid. Trust me when I know he knows
the best Thresh in the game.
Yeah, what it means to like just hard feed on supports. In this situation where you're playing solo frontline Thresh against Syndra, you're afraid for your life. The entire mid game, late game, if you take one step out and miss position, you get chunked and die instantly. And so I just thought that like it's fine to play Thresh. You just have to have a way, like a front line to work with him to like help him be more effective. But if he's the only frontliner in the game, you're trusting everything on you're literally putting it all on Thresh, like not only save your team but also find picks for you, which is this is super hard. Even though they had like Ashe Rumble to start fights, still Thresh had to put themselves in consistently dangerous positions to be able to like relieve pressure and let their backline walk up.
It's impossible. It's literally like the way I look at it. It's like a 20% to 80% victory, where it's like that 20% is Thresh can make that hook on the carry, but it's like you have to remember like you're playing on like 0 ping with like with the best players that play this game. Like this shit is not gonna work out, and that's what it ends up being. He just ends up fading. he just ends up getting smashed and run over by Syndra, Olaf. Like they can't deal, or Thresh can't deal with it.
Yep, and this is a good example of the patented trick maneuver, the lane gank. He lane ganks top lane this game, gets the kill, gets the first tower. Trick then ganks like he already ganked bot lane, and I think he also ended up ganking mid lane. Essentially, like my whole note just say like he just did a lot of work this game. I think they also did a proactive blue buff steal at 7 minutes. This early game was the entire thing was all enabled because Trick was in right positions at the right time, was able to convert those positions into pressure or kills. So this game, if you're a Trick fan, he did work, dude. He just hard carried this game.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it too. It's literally like, I think at 20 minutes is where the game like really changes, where it no longer becomes that Trick show anymore. It becomes more of a WE playing like much better. Like they're starting to make picks. Like Mithy is getting picked. They're getting like top towers. I think at one point, Expect gets picked before the Baron. Like they reset slow off a dragon. Expect gets picked. Now they have complete Baron control and they kill Mithy as well. That's where the game got really weird, I think, which I like from WE too, because like they're not giving up. Like they're looking for these picks. They're actually like gaining control of Baron, and it could become a situation where it's like, okay, G2, if you don't focus up, they'll get Baron and the game will swing. But even then, it's like at this point, I think Perks got way too fed, so did Sven, and they played out the fights really well. And I was actually like a doubter of like them as carries, but like watching them play through the series, they're like, I think they played both pretty well, especially this game. This is definitely like a highlighter.
Yeah,
after the 20 minutes,
they're a monster. Like eventually the game got closed out by a huge 4-4-0 fight at 30 something minutes. The way I see G2 a lot of times is like they'll drag out games because they don't necessarily know how to play out good mid games. But when it comes to like team fight positioning, if you're watching Sven AD carry and you're watch his positioning, this guy is actually playing super well. That's why G2 can always take it to late, because they have such a reliable backline to count on. I think Perks may sometimes be unreliable. You saw his Victor gameplay. He had a great scoreline. He played some fights really questionable. If you saw his Ari game, he had a bad game. We'll talk about it as we get into the next game, but he had like an atrocious game. And if you look at Sven, this guy is like consistency.
I really like Sven.
Consistency king.
He's literally like, I feel right now, especially like AD carry is like pretty hard role to play. You're very you're not flashy. I feel like with Ashe and Vars especially, you're not really the playmakers. You're the engager. You're the one who's always like you're not the one who's like gonna one shot someone or like kite a whole team. You're more like, you get that great engage off, and that's like what makes a good AD carry. And I feel like he's always getting these looks that I didn't think people would go for, but he gets them and he lands them on like carries, and he's making picks. Like he is playing really well.
Yeah, I think he's definitely like one of the best performing ADs of the event. I don't know if I wouldn't say he's like better than Wolf and Bang, but he's been playing extremely well.
MSI Stixay level, dude. No, I'm just kidding. Not that too much. Stixay was actually beast, but not that much.
Oh, yeah.
He's good though.
Okay, good. So this game got kind of blown up. It dragged out a long time, and this is a game where you're like, even though with a humongous lead, it still took
a while.
Almost 40 minutes.
It definitely felt like G2 had the win at 25 minutes, but with the picks from WE, like the game slowed at least another like 10.
And this is a good example of like, if you're playing against SKT, and I watched the games yesterday on stream. Literally, I was gonna do like analysis on it, and I watched it, and I was just like, oh, they just end the game. Literally, they get a Baron, and the game's just over in 3 minutes. And they are just kings of being able to close out games. They're so good at being able to do it. If they play against G2, like I still have hope for G2, but you know, that's like a clean difference of like the ability to actually be able to clean out games, close out games.
Oh yeah, I forgot they're playing tomorrow.
All right. I'm done with that game. Let's go into game
3. I feel like the very basis of this game is W picks a lead, and then G2's plan is just waiting the entire game. Like they just wait until they can get items. They're running the clock, which is something I don't like specifically, but that's how I feel like the very basis.
I don't even know if necessarily that. For me, I looked at this game, I'm just like, oh, Perks' Ari sucks. Like that's just how I thought. I was like, Perks Perks won. I feel like won or hard pressure laning phase in 3 of the 4 games. The one game he did it. If you even watch how he got the solo kill, I was even like, how did he even get this kill? Oh, he got this kill because the opposing player at like 10% health, instead of flashing backwards, flashes forwards into him, and it just kills himself. Which I guess works, but honestly, like even before then, I thought seeing the clips of the laning phase, it just seemed that like the Jace had more control of the lane. I was really surprised with it.
He got killed level 3.
Yeah, when PerkZ was able to get off the ground, and then in the reverse, I was just like, well, he's just not able to convert anything. Like he's just missing skill shots left and right. On top of that, I think this is really the game where Condi and 957 just God mode. Yeah. Condi actually hard carried this game ridiculously hard. We're gonna go through a little bit of what he does, but he is just a pick machine. Him and they use Shen, right? Him and the Shen just like destroyed this game.
That was definitely
absolutely
a game ruled by them too.
Just like completely destroyed this game inside and out. Do you have anything to say about the draft? You don't have to say it. If you think it's just normal, just run with it.
The only thing I put out was like why the Kog'Maw. I didn't really like the Kog'Maw pick, but as the game progressed, I was okay with it.
I'm gonna put out like the Thresh pick this game. So last game I said I don't really like Thresh if there's no front line, and this game GT drafts Galio Thresh, and I was like, oh, that's pretty good. If you're playing a Galio comp too, like or a Thresh comp. The best thing about Thresh is like you can chain gank the lane, and so what ends up happening, you know?
They do get chain ganked.
Yeah, like I thought that this game started out really well for G2, and then what ends up happening is I think they just got one, the top and jungle just got outperformed in terms of impact, and two, PerkZ just didn't play well. I don't even think the comp is bad. I just think that like in terms of level of play, it just wasn't happening. And at some point with this comp, Ahri Galio needs to just man up, and Ahri needs to go in similar to Shen Ahri. Ahri should go in with the Galio ulti to be able to start fights, and that never happened.
Yeah, like I said, I feel like for the first like 12 minutes, it seems like the comp is working for G2. Like, you know, Trick is lane gank, or Trick is just ganking bot. They're forcing Kog'Maw some, Kog and Nami some. Like they actually they ended up killing Nami. Like they're playing around their Thresh really well. Like even though PerkZ played like shit, he still got a solo kill somehow. Like,
yeah.
So like the game is going fine, but once it hits that 13-minute mark where the Lee finds Trick in the jungle and they're able to get a 2-for-0, that's where the game just gets like, I feel like that's where it truly it was just literally the Lee and Shen running all over everyone. Like he's constantly making picks, kicking the Ahri in, and it's just like it's game over. And it's so weird too because that's why I don't like that they're on the back foot. I feel like G2 also has a comp that can deal with can make picks themselves, right? They have a Thresh, they have an Ahri, like even Galio works like fine if you're trying to make picks. Like he can just flash on people, right? But it never feels like G2 actually try to get back into the game. It just feels like they sat at their towers, they wave cleared, and then it didn't matter because they were just too far behind.
For the most part, it just seemed that Condi and 957 made all the proactive plays.
Yeah.
And while G2, like you said, had tools to be able to do it, never were able to pull it off. This was the Condi show, and everything from how,
great, by the way.
Yeah, everything from how he swung around the game. Well, let's start talking a little bit about how the game went. Graves ended up, like we said at the very beginning of the draft, if you have a Thresh lane, you gank the Thresh lane, ganks are so free. You can't do anything as the other player, too. If the Thresh, like, flash flays you and then throws a lantern at the jungler, you're dead.
You have to burn flash to try to live.
And then, so the first time they got summoners, second time came back, all right, he got the kill.
Nami's dead.
So just very classic, very standard, good all-around play here. And G2 gets a lead, and then just everything just starts falling apart at the period where Condi invades, kills Graves with the help of Shen ulti, and then kills Galio, and then gets mid tower, and then G2 messes up on like a top lane rotation. They lose Dragon, and then they lose Expect bot lane, and the game just like starts going insane. You're just like, wait, what the heck happened, GT? You're winning this game. This game was yours. And then slowly Xie, which by the way played a great chase, just landed a great shot class the entire game. Super high pressure on the lane as well as objectives. And then every single team fight you went into, you'd have like Trick face checking bushes and getting like a kick by Condi. You'd have Condi like just lining up all these great kicks. He got an insect onto Ahri at the dragon fight.
Super quick. It was like half a second.
Yeah, it was just straight clean. Really, really great play. Well, they just ran this game over with their jungle top.
Definitely Lee Sin Shen, just that was pretty much the game.
And I want to say, like, Xie played this game great. And so I did think PerkZ typically was the more impactful player, and I mean, they won the series. But this is the game where Xie was just like, they just flexed on them, essentially.
Yeah, this is, it was just like, I think that in a sense, this is like the most boring game because it was literally just like them just running over G2. I think like final thoughts for this game is Lee Sin Shen worked out great for them and PerkZ played bad.
Yeah.
that's like the
and I think for G2 to win, PerkZ has to play well. That's just normal, I think, for an international stage. Because like if your mid lane is the most important position because there's the access to every single part of the map. So while jungle may be the most important early game, mid is typically most important for most games, just because he has the most options and you have I think one of the highest decision making things. If your most important role is underperforming, you're not going to be another world class team, and that's just normal. He had one bad game this series. This was it. It's okay.
Yeah, everyone can have bad games, right? It doesn't matter. Everyone can have bad games.
Why are you looking at me, man? Why are you looking at me?
You have so many bad games.
Dude, come on.
Constant.
I was playing HOTS for like 3 weeks, man. My league skills kind of rusty right now.
You ended up the lowest rank in HOTS. You had a lot of bad games.
It's not fair. They ended Diamond 3, I ended Plat 4. I had to carry myself out. They got boosted. It's not me.
Suck.
Alright, anyways, last game. It was pretty good. So this is a game where I got pretty scared for them. Let's start at the very beginning for the draft. I think that G2 wanted to early pick Syndra, and one of the Syndra's biggest counters is Fizz. Everyone at this tournament has been flex picking Fizz. They'd be like, all right, we early pick Fizz, send it top or mid, and that's a really dangerous flex pick because if he sends top, he does well into most top laners, and he hard counters Rumble. And so you have to play with that in mind, and you have to be able to flex pick it or pick an option which counters Fizz, but they can still counter you if they flex it to another lane. Fizz tends to not hard counter, but soft counter Syndra, and they just left it open and just blind picked it. So PerkZ must have been really feeling himself this game, and I was really scared because they left open the Fizz, and he just got slaughtered. Or the Syndra just got slaughtered by the Fizz. It was like, okay, the jungle comes to gank, then the bot lane comes to gank, and then literally like PerkZ just starts this game 0-2 or 0-3.
Yeah, it started off really bad. But I think this is definitely like the one game that I felt like WE actually had like I like this draft the best for them. Like it was very like they have that Lee Sin, the Fizz, like the Shen again. And, like this could be the Kled rather, and it's like a really snowbally ass team comp. And I don't know, they played well into it. I think I thought it was like gonna be over as soon as like you were talking about those first two ganks. It was hard to watch. Like that's some sad shit. Like it's literally just Fish into Kled coming from top lane with his ult, and then I feel like PerkZ. It was so weird. There's this one gank watching PerkZ like he literally S-keyed in front of a Fizz, and I was just like, why are you S-keying in front of a Fizz with no flash, dude? You're gonna die, and he died. So the first like
in situations like that, usually what happens is they're looking at shop, they're looking at other lanes, or they're typing something. One of those three things probably happened. Not acceptable in the game. I'm just letting you know. But he definitely did S-key on the first, or it was with the Kled gank.
It was the Kled gank,
and he died. So
that blew my mind.
I also thought he should have been moving to make himself a harder target, but
I thought he was trolling. It looked like he was typing to his team, someone help mid, please.
The only thing I want to say about World League draft, I like every part of it, but Kench. I think Kench has been notoriously overrated in a lot of these
They
comps.
really like Kench,
Like,
right?
Kench is something where you take against hard melee divers, and that just strictly denies...
Talon, Rengar,
yeah, Talon, like Rengar, Fizz, great examples of like stuff where it's like, you're playing Kench. All right, we just lose. But against Syndra never has to commit.
It feels really hard.
Yeah, and so like the Kench in terms of relative value, what does the Kench bring? The Kench brings the ability for you to put yourself the Kench ulti places, like the global kind of with your AD. But it's not like your like I can kind of understand why they decided to pick it. It's a good shell with Kog'Maw. It saves them from dives, but the enemy comp isn't a comp that ever needs to really dive you.
Yeah, it like works well against the Kha'Zix, and then I feel like the way I see Kench is like like you're saying, right? You want to avoid stuff. So what are the things they can avoid? They can avoid the Syndra, the Varus R, and then the Kha'Zix like jumping in and assassination, right? But it ends up being like you're saying with Syndra, it's so hard to deal with Syndra as Kench. You just become this like huge target that's so easily stunned. If you eat someone, great, you're still stunned in front of 4 people. Same thing with Varus, like it's a spreading ultimate, and it's like works best against Kha'Zix. It's definitely overrated.
Yeah, to me it feels like a better, like a tankier version of Thresh. He still has the same problems as Thresh. can't initiate just like a body, but at least he's tanky enough to be able to absorb a little bit of Syndra damage, but is less flexible in terms of the utility being brought. He just doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I didn't like it here either.
But this is a game where immediately I thought if World Elite took this late game, World Elite wins.
Yeah.
Even with the Kench pick,
they're definitely playing on the timer.
It's just that Cog, Fizz.
They have Cog and the Fizz.
And the Kled can eventually
Kled will get
against Galio. And
yeah,
so this was something where like, okay, eventually...
Like 35, 40 minutes, something like that. 40 minutes, if the game gets past 40 minutes, like WE will just win because of their champions. Doesn't matter if they play, like G2 plays well, they'll just win because Kog'Maw will walk up to you and destroy you.
Yep. And the way this game starts again, Perks just gets set behind. They played their win condition well, which is get Fizz ahead or like, and their bot lane actually does great. Even CS. And,
oh yeah, that was a big thing too.
And I was really surprised because that's a really hard bot lane matchup. But it looked like G2 just wanted to focus on getting the tower.
Yeah.
So even though it was even CS, the tower is about like
10 CS advantage, but the tower's literally at 10%, like at 10 minutes.
Yeah, and so I can kind of understand why they decided to go for that. Eventually, Kazakh spends a lot of time trying to break that open. For me, the biggest thing was the bot lane skirmish, because World Elite starts great. Like this is like fantastic play by World Elite at the very beginning, snowballing mid lane. 957 comes in. Kled, which I think is one of his best characters. He's 3-0 on it at the tournament. Incredible stats. Finds a good roam down. But everything kind of gets blown open on the bot lane play, which is like they take a really, really forced bot lane skirmish, and it gets converted into I think a 5-for-2 or 5-for-3.
What happens? I forgot. Something happens. Like I think they just TP in, right? Doesn't
everyone just dogpiles the bot lane? Kandi comes in late.
Oh yeah,
and then he gets this kick where he tries to hit multiple people.
You were so hyped for that actually. They were like lined up as 3, and you were so ready for him to kick him into 3 people.
Because Kandi also has flash at this point, and so we're like.
I was waiting for that too.
Yeah, actually. I was like, is he gonna kick flash? Oh, this is gonna be nasty. Oh, I can't wait. Oh, this is gonna be so good. He kicks it and it hits 1. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Still fine.
And then he throws the Q and it misses, and you're just like.
Yeah, he just straight whips the fucking...
no.
That's when you know the fight...
the fight got elongated long enough to where, like...
Fizz now jumps into the Karma, kills himself for Karma, and Trick just is there, and he kills everyone.
Yeah, the fight got elongated too long, and G2 was able to clean up the fight completely, and the game is just, like, in their favor.
Now it's back into, like, G2's hand. I feel like the game is still very, like, you know, very even, like... With those 2 kills mid, like Perks is still, it's hilarious how Perks is like never collapses the fight. He's still mid lane 0-2, like at 96 CS, like pelting the tower with his little balls. Like nothing is gonna, like the game feels very even. But I think the next part, which we have to talk about, is like that's where okay, this game's fucking over.
Okay, let's talk about it. So Trick does what Trick does. The patented lane gank. He runs top lane and sits there.
Yep.
And then what ends up happening? World Elite, by the way, we just talked about World Elite's comp. They're a scaling comp, dude. They can scale. They're good. They're fine.
They have snowball, but they can scale.
Yeah, they can snowball, but they also have the option to like just hold on.
Just sit there. Yeah.
And what ends up happening is they're the one that brute force to play. Fizz.
This is a hard brute. They're literally like on the opposite side of the map. They're playing towards G2 side.
This happens top side. Trick is in the bush. It's Perks versus the Fizz. Fizz doesn't know Trick is there. Fizz throws the ulti, whiffs it. Okay, cool. Still goes in and. As the fish lands, Kench's ulti rises up behind next to the fish, and 2 people get deposited there. And that's when you know this is a fight.
And then Expect TP'd as well, I believe, one of the minions, and yeah.
And what ends up happening is like the most brutal turn ever. They 3-for-0 the turn, and the entire time I'm just like, is there any way they could have gotten out of this? I told you that the best I could have seen was maybe a 2-for-0, but still that's pretty bad. Like so they get 3-for-0 here, and the game is just like completely in G2's hands at this moment.
Sven comes from the river, ults the Lee Sin, kills him off. Fizz tries to go on him, kills him off too. It was just a very sad fight.
Yes, Sven had a great cleanup in this fight, and eventually what ends up happening is they just...
It just seems like another like game where it's like, well, that was just like the game changer. Now like... I was just glad GT was able to end it before where that mark hit it. I feel like they almost reached that point where it's like, okay, well, Kog'Maw is gonna get too many items, we're gonna lose. But they definitely like started pushing advantages, not as fast as I would have liked. Like they lost the Baron, pretty stupid. That wasn't even like watching Lee Sin slowly queue in where he's getting dogpiled by 3 people and still gets his smite off. It's so hard to watch. Like, but that's something great by WWE. Like, they delay the game, and like they still turn it pretty well 3-for-1, but the game is getting delayed, which is what WWE wants. I feel like, unlike G2, where they have these champs that like can pick, and they will goddamn try their hardest to make those picks and steal that Baron. Like, it's funny how that next Baron was so impossible to steal. He was close. If he hit that Q, it was another 50-50.
In this game, you really could kind of feel the desperation from World Elite. They tried the most ridiculous engagement. Look at Kled initiation. Oh, I'm going to just ulti down this path. Wait a second, dude. The other guy, the guy canceled his TP. You can't go in here. He goes in. All right, he disengages.
Oh my God.
He backs out. He backs. And then he TP flanks himself. And he's like, oh, wait, I can't do this alone. So he runs away. And it was just like a period where you're just like, Jesus, they're trying their heart out to initiate. And it's like, do they need to? I think if the game goes longer, Cog Fizz is disgusting. Like, you tag Varus with a fish, all right.
Varus is dead.
Good luck in esports. Yeah, like literally you're just you're dead instantly. And so, yeah, maybe they were trying to not get mid lane on the Zhonya's timer because that's really hard for Fizz. But Fizz always has a good target in the AD carry. And the AD carry this game can't afford to go Maw until 4th item. And so he's always an available target. I can understand why they're a little bit rushed because of the Zhonya's, but I think they just got really, really desperate.
It was like desperate and just like bloodthirsty. Like, literally, just engages are just way too forced. Like, we just need to chill. Wait for Kog'Maw to win the game for you.
Eventually, after all these forced engages, Syndra just shines. Because if nothing can hop onto Syndra, Syndra's just able to like chain stun Kench. He can't get out, and then they're just able to like essentially walk it up. To end the game, Expect had the fantastic TP from the back, able to like control the backline completely, and even
taunts 3.
Yeah, taunts 3, and then catches up. I think it cleans up the
catches the Kog'Maw and the
Thresh.
Kench.
Yeah, so Kench, and so Expect had a great TP to be able to turn around this game, and they just run it down mid.
I wasn't very impressed with this Galio for like the majority of the games too, because he played 3 games with Galio and 1 Rumble. And those 2 games with Galio, I thought he was okay at best. I feel like sometimes his ults are too fast. But this game is where I felt like he really, like, TPs are on point, like, great taunts. Like, you could see him, like, definitely playing better as the games pass by. So, last game, very good by Expect.
And for me, I thought World Elite was going to play better. I don't know.
I think so. Everyone thought.
Yeah, everyone had predictions on the desk that World Elite was going to win. I think maybe we were really caught up in best of 1 scenarios that we didn't consider G2's ability to play. I think everything just hindered on how is Trick going to play today. And Trick honestly played great. Like, really, really well. And so we didn't see a non-feeding Trick
this game too,
for
like,
a while.
He played really. I feel like we didn't, like, talk about Trick this game too. Like, the game was won. Like, the reason why this game became so unwinnable for WE was because Trick made that play bot lane. He literally got the triple kill. He's the one, like, cleaning it up and making sure that fight goes well. And top lane, he's sitting in the fucking bush.
Camp top lane was able to turn the gank for the win. Trick played great this series. And honestly,
it was so weird. Like, someone who didn't watch any of the group stages sees Trick this best of 5 and played fantastic.
Any closing thoughts on the series in general? Not just on the game.
In general, I think, like I said, not seeing like the 4 games, Trick looks like he's on like very like hot streak. He's playing very well. Like, I really like this lane brush like stuff. I don't see like I feel like you don't really see that game too much, and he's just like really pounding it in of ganking these lane bushes. And so I think he's playing well, and just really impressed with Sven too. Like, I was like a doubter of like how he played, because there was some like Reddit there where it was like he had the best like everything. He hasn't died. And I was like, that's usually not, like, the best thing to say, because it's like, sometimes, if you don't die, you're just playing fights too pussy. Like, you're just not going in, like, you're not doing enough damage. But watching him play, he's just, like, the AD carry that I feel like you want on your team. Like, he's willing to play those initiators, and he plays them well. He gets great initiations off, and he knows how to DPS. Like, he knows where to stand. He knows what to do.
I guess my thoughts on the game were... even the World Elite came in with expected the level of, like a great level of prep for the early game, and I think at least 2 of their 4 games today thought was really good. However, I think they didn't expect Trick either. I don't think they really adapted well to Trick playing better. I think they had 1 game where their top and jungle ended up working really well, but the fact that it took all the way up until the 4th game to really predict that Trick would sit in lane bushes, it's like really bad.
Sure.
Yeah, I feel like they had a really poor adaptation throughout the entire series. And I think that maybe their drafts were a little bit wonky. I usually never want to blame stuff on drafts, but it's something that you should look at because I think that maybe they over prioritize or under prioritize certain champions in the draft. Like for instance, Kench being kind of questionable, the Lucian pick being, and that I can more understand.
I can give you that one, but still, like...
yeah. But I mean, aside from that, do you want to just go into what do you want to do now? We can do Q&A, we can do predictions. Think about the prediction segment. I already did one before with Mark, and you haven't watched.
I haven't
SKT.
watched the game, so I think we
that's
should go Q&A.
Yeah. So okay, we'll open up for Q&A. Aside from talking about which region is better, NA or EU, please ask us any questions you'd be interested in us answering.
EU's better. They made it farther. TSM sucks.
That comment that I read, if you're not from a top 2 region, don't talk to me. I was just like, oh god.
Holy. EU is best. Which region is worse, NA or EU? You didn't say not to say that. NA is worse. Officially. It's all over.
Did I see Levi play? You mean, not Levi.
Levi?
No, he meant the Lyra.
Oh, you meant Lyra.
That Lyra play on right?
You haven't mentioned a single Lyra thing. The Lyra. I haven't seen that.
The Lyra play is actually nuts. It's so good.
Xfinity Dardock trade? Oh, you didn't talk about that, right?
No.
You go first.
Well, we talked about it a little bit on the last episode. I think if there's one person that can bring the TLDRs, if there's one person that can deal with Dardock being like toxic, I think CLG has the best in terms of support system for that.
Yeah.
But it's still like a thing where I don't know, you know? But I think if it can work, this is the best place for it.
Honestly, the way I look at it is either A, CLG were able to tame Dardock. He's a mean kitty. He's very good at what he does, but sometimes he gets too angry. But I feel like CLG will be able to control him, and he'll be in an environment he likes. I don't know, the way I look at CLG is like, it's very friendly. Like, people really like care about each other and want to push each other. So I feel like Dardock will like that, especially. And if it doesn't work out, I don't think CLG will put up with like the shit. I think if he doesn't like adapt or like change, he'll just get kicked out, and they'll use Omar God probably.
Okay. Someone asked.
What do you think of so what about the other part? What do you think about Xmithy on Immortals?
Oh, I think that he is a good player. I think he just had a really bad split. You know.
Yeah.
I think people have had like, dude. Afro gets away with like murder.
Oh, I feel like Afro had like a bad split. Was it last time or was it the one before?
It was. I think,
or maybe it was like the beginning where it was like, oh my god.
So this last split, I think he had a bad first 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I thought his playoff was like his peak. He played super. His Nami was like disgusting.
Oh my god, his Nami was sick. But definitely.
He had like a terrible first half. And the split before, he played bad, and like he gets away with murder sometimes. I swear to God.
Afro's definitely like a player who's held up like here. Like if you talk about best supports ever to play in the he is definitely here. So people keep him at such a throne, but he did play fucking bad.
Yeah, it's like okay, and like Smithy, people are like, oh, that's the guy who missed the schedule. I'm like, dude, that was like 2 years ago.
It's the memes.
This guy's won like back-to-back championship titles before. He's good. He just had a bad split.
It's the memes. Fuck. Okay. Well, what was the question you were saying before?
People asked about SKT and Flash Wolves being the real finals. I don't think that's true. I think Flash Wolves. Well, the thing is, I think SKT.
Wait, so the last game,
the last series,
the real finals.
The last series, yeah. If they're like, oh, is that going to be the real finals? And for me, if that's the real finals, that's depressing because
that is depressing. Well, that's what happened to us too.
SKT literally.
That's what happened to MSI too.
Just destroyed them. 90 minutes. It's done.
We got 302.
Yeah, but it wasn't 90 minutes. You guys got like 100 minutes. You got 10 more minutes.
People forget that too, dude.
You got 10 more minutes.
I'm an MSI finalist.
You got 10 more minutes than Flash Wolves did.
Can you say you were a finalist at MSI? Exactly.
How many games did you play there? It's so funny when you see the picture of you of like the whole CLG team at MSI. They have you in the front, and everyone's just like, who's that Mexican guy? I've never seen him play before. It's actually so funny.
That shit's so... I actually almost played... I feel like this story hasn't been told enough, and it should be, but I almost played the last game of groups at MSI, but I was just like... I pussied out. Fuck! Yeah. Looking back at it, I'm just like... The way... we were against G2 for the last game, and I was like... The way... what was that fucker's name? The AD carry? He was Emperor. The way Emperor was playing, I could have beat him.
Oh my god.
Oh my fucking god, dude. Come on. He played so badly that MSI. Holy shit.
But you can't say that because you didn't play.
I didn't.
Oh.
I am a pussy.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now everyone knows. Keep asking us questions, man. We'll answer a couple more and we'll call it quits for the day. Oh, and just as a heads up, we'll also be doing PLT tomorrow. So we'll be right back here, normal time, normal place.
I actually want to answer this one. I won't say it. Do you want to talk about it? I do want to talk about it. But do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, let's do it, dude. You just want to do all the like hard
I just like
all right, let's go.
I like the drama stuff.
All right,
it's
let's
funny.
go.
It's funny to me.
All right, dude, drama alert
Thoughts
right
on
here.
Tobias trolling. It's amazing to me because it's like seeing this dude he's a funny ass dude. Tobias is just funny, like just straight up. I bet if I could watch him play anything, like I was watching him do his like ad for the Walking Dead thing, and I was like, this is hilarious. This guy's so fucking funny. It's one of those like people who can make anything funny, and he's just going insane. He's actually inting games, and it's not like, hey, like he's just like having a bad game.
It's not like the cutie pie thing where like you're going 1-20, but like you start 0-5 in lane and you just start 0-3 because he doesn't diversify his lanes, right? He just runs it down one.
It's not the cutie pie int where it's like he just like feeds and keeps dying.
Yeah,
he just runs the shit he knows he's gonna die
it's
too.
not like he turns off his brain. He's like actually just like.
Or it's not the cutie pie int where he like acts shocked. It's like, wow, I got one shot by Syndra. I didn't know I was gonna get one shot there. It's like he is playing Nunu. He is running it down mid and typing stuff like, hope you lose, faggots. Like, that's what he typed. He literally typed that in the chat. It was hilarious.
Okay, so, honestly, I met him in real life. So, he's actually super funny. Like, to me, Tobias has the potential to be not the next cutie pie, but in terms of personality-wise, he's one of the best I've met. In terms of, because when I have to think about people, to compare people, Cutie's one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. Like, actually, that guy, if you ever hang around with him, watch his streams, he's exactly what you'd expect. A good example, watch some of the vlogs that he comes out with. Hanging out with him in real life is exactly like those vlogs. Like, straight up, it's like he's just like, what is an aquarium? Like, he just you have no idea what to expect when you're with him. Tobias is very similar in that he's just super funny. Really funny guy. It feels bad for me to see this kind of stuff because I like him as a person. But, like, this isn't acceptable.
Yeah. 100%. Did I add that? It's not acceptable.
Yeah,
he should be punished.
I'm not happy with what he's doing with himself and with like his brand. Like I think it's terrible. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the case could be. You know, a lot of people hypothesize like he could be really depressed. He could be all these things. I don't know him well enough to say that. But
yeah, that's the thing.
All I'm saying is what he's doing right now is not good.
Yeah, like outside of that, I don't want to like touch into that. Like I don't know what's going on in his life, but at the end of the day it doesn't matter because it's like he's still inting games and he should be punished. Like this shit, if I was in his game, like it's funny to me because I'm not in the game, right? But if I was the 80 carry player playing with a Nunu and who's inting, I know I'd be pissed. I'd be very fucking angry. I would tweet it out myself. I'd be like, this fucker is inting my game. Someone hit him with a stick.
A banhammer? Stick?
No, hit him with like just a stick they find on the ground. But I'm not, so yeah. I still think he should be punished.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, for me, I just hope that he stops doing it. You know, I'm not the jury or the executioner here. I just hope that he just goes back to his like happy self because he's the type of guy who like when he's happy and he's on point, you want to watch his stuff.
Yeah,
because he's super funny. You know, that kind of personality that like. What he sounds like and what he does, he's really funny. That's the reason why he's so popular. You know, it's not like you're watching his gameplay and you're just like, this is the best gameplay in the world. Like,
no, he's
BMing
people and taunting them, and it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, like,
he's a funny guy.
Like he is definitely one of the funnier people I've met in my life.
I really wish he bounces back too.
Yeah,
I don't want him to die. Like I don't want him to ruin his brand. I want him to bounce back.
Yeah.
Everyone goes through shit.
And the thing is, it's like someone said he only did it for 2 games. Check his OP.GG. The thing is, if you're a public figure, you do it. You can do it for 0 games. Like I'm straight up. Like, when have you ever in the 6-7 years I've played the game seen me intentionally feed a game? And
I play with you a lot.
Yeah, I mean, like, not the stuff where it's like I have a bad game. Even like a game on Leona where I just like brainlessly ran down and I accrued. I think at the end of the game I accrued 15 deaths.
Every single game. Every game I see you in. You just suck.
Yeah, but like I never do that, and I know I can never do it. If literally after this stream I go play a game off stream, I just run it down mid. You think that's not gonna go on Reddit first thing? That's gonna go on Reddit.
I'm posting on Reddit.
He'll do it, dude. It's something where as a public figure, you're gonna be under scrutiny.
Everyone holds you higher.
Yes.
Too.
So like it's like it's the worst thing about being more.
It's a blessing and a curse because it's like obviously since they hold you higher, the things you say now, like even right now, people are gonna hold it to you and remember it and keep it and use it in their own life. But it's like the same thing where. The same thing works with the whole, whatchamacallit, like beating and inting and saying stupid shit. Like, people will hold you to a higher pedestal.
Yep.
That's just how it is.
Doesn't matter if people out there are insulting all these other people. If you as a public figure, you jump in on that train, everyone's going to look at you. Because people hold you to a higher standard. And that's something you just have to understand.
That's what it is to be a content creator and like a personality. It's like, that's how it is. Alright, next question.
Alright, yeah, that's so cat, dude. Boo is making.
That wasn't cat. That was Poke putting that shit under.
Oh God! Alright, he's pretty much a cat.
Show the cat. Shut up, Poke.
I'm just looking. I'm just looking for
any public figures in the chat.
Okay, so let me just talk about this. I don't want to talk about what ifs, like what if C9 was there, what if double if was there.
What if C9 was there?
Stupid question. Actually, you want me to just... The only people who ask that question are people who are C9 fans who want me to, like, essentially, like...
Just say it then. Just jack them off. C9 would have definitely... I think they would have beat SKT. Like, 3-0, actually. That's my prediction. But... They're not here.
Yeah,
darn it. I love C9.
They just want me to say what they want to hear me say. Like they want to control me. I'm like a puppet to them.
Say it, dude. Appease the fans. I'm out here for the.
It's the same thing. Like, what do you think about Sven being replaced by like a better jungler? Like, let's just say Rush, and it's like,
yeah.
What? Excuse me?
That's what you have to say for the fans, dude. What if Rush played for G2 or for SKT? 100% best team in the world.
They beat SKT. Like,
I love Rush.
I know that this is just like all like I don't answer questions like that because they're just all baits. Because everyone legit just wants me to hear them say what they think that they're right.
Let's make the Reddit bait question. The title, it just says like Scarra thinks Rush is the best jungler. He will be on COG confirmed. You heard it here.
That's not happening. Dude.
Dardoch will...
You think Dardoch's gonna get kicked out in 2 weeks? Dardoch is gonna get kicked
out because he's gonna try to strangle ᵐᵉᵐᵉ and he's gonna get replaced by Rush.
Actually, if COG Rush actually happened, I wouldn't even be upset. I
wouldn't be upset either. I like Dardoch, but I love Rush too.
Yeah, I love Rush.
It's like, yeah, I mean, I love them both, dude. But I wouldn't be mad. If Dardoch randomly went missing one day, I would
randomly missing and suddenly...
And Rush replaced him. Rush came in with like a bloody knife. I'd be like, damn, you're back on the team. Let's go.
All right, let's just cut it here.
Right.
Honestly, I love you guys, but I gotta go do my own stuff.
We gotta go get ramen. That's what we're gonna do.
Wait, what?
I'm gonna go watch the VODs of the game and come up with more thoughtful analysis for tomorrow's games.
Perfect. Me too. Not only that, I'm gonna personally call up all my favorite casters and just sit and do hours of analysis with them.
I'm not
potentially at the BMW track.
Who's your favorite caster?
I'm going to later tonight.
Who's your favorite caster?
Which region?
No thoughts. Just boom. First thing that comes to your mind.
Kobe.
Me too. And that's the stream.
Good night, guys. Thank you. Oh, it's not this afternoon. Good afternoon, guys. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to see the VODs, this will be up on Post League Time's YouTube, which is not my YouTube. If you don't know what that is, follow at Post League Time on Twitter because it'll be there. We'll tell you when it comes up. Additionally, we're going to have the show tomorrow, right when the games end. The finals was SKT versus G2. I hope to God it's a series that has one win.
I hope it's a
okay. You saw SKT.
something you can talk about.
Yeah, I hope it. You saw SKT series. If I had to go cover another one of those, we're not gonna have a long show. It's gonna be a very quick show. I'm literally just gonna say something like, "Well,
wow,
SKT's a good team," and
I feel
that's
like that
it.
might happen, but
Yeah, could definitely happen. Anyways, see you guys tomorrow. Love you guys. Have a good night.
goodbye.
Oh, and I don't know if I'm streaming later because I have plans. Goodbye.
Goodbye.